All Things Motoring International is owned and brought to you by SA's most trusted online vehicle platform, CHANGECARS. Our name says it all, whether you're looking to sell, need advice, need finance, or need insurance. CHANGECARS has you covered. In this week's episode of All Things Motoring, we visit Zwartkops Raceway for passion for speed. And Ernest attends the West Coast Car Show. This is a show with scenery and speed.
We are in Langebaan for the West Coast Car Show, and as Tennessee whiskey plays in the background there, I am awed and inspired by the turnout of the people and the sheer amount of cars here. But to find out more about this surprisingly big show, let's chat to the organizer himself. I'm standing with Peter Lindenberg from Shelby, but Peter, you are known for many things. I didn't know you were known for living in the West Coast, though. I thought you're from Joburg.
No, I've been here for 15 years.
Wow. And you started this show. Oh, again, something I heard today. What was the motivation behind this?
So it was 2018, and we had started a neighborhood watch here in 2011 with 3 other guys, and we were looking at other projects. We were like, well, we got to do something to have a basic funding for what we need to do in projects. And this friend of mine, late JP Mouton, and I said, you know what, let's put together a car show, let's see how we go. And we had the first show in 2018.
We thought, no offense, going up the West Coast for a small show, but then as the marketing material started rolling out, Alicia, my producer, was saying, no, this is going to be a big one. Did you expect it to be like this as you guys... Yeah, was this the plan?
So last year we had around 330, 340 cars. I know we haven't counted. We'll know tomorrow, but I reckon we're damn close.
Wow.
And you can see there's big dealer support. Most of the dealers are here.
Yeah, that's always good to know. So let's talk about what you guys are up to, Shelby, and then I want to touch on some racing stuff, of course. But the Shelby stuff, you got the 350 coming to South Africa for the first time, is that correct?
Yeah, so this week, Shelby, they hit us on Thursday afternoon at about 3 o'clock with an email. They said, Shelby GT 350 being launched worldwide in so many hours. Here's the info, boof.
Right-hand drive?
Yeah, 5. We got 5 allocated to South Africa.
I hear 2 of them already potentially.
No, 2 are sold.
So let's go back to racing. You were known in Westbanks for driving with one hand.
I want to be able to change that gear instantly. I don't want to have my hand on the wheel. And also, I just felt sometimes that your hand on, hand off, the steering moves. I got to drive so many cars. And the most incredible car to drive was Z181, the Gunston Capri. I mean, I got that thing around Zwartkops in a 108.1.
Back then?
Yeah, like, I don't know, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
A 108 in a saloon car at Zwartkops.
Jeez, and how does, one last question from me before I let you get back to Shelby things over here. Powerboating, F1 powerboating or racing cars?
It's an impossible question to answer because you must remember in F1 powerboating, I was driving at the pinnacle of the world. So I was competing against the best powerboat drivers in the world regularly. And that kind of elevates you to a different level.
Okay.
I was never the best racing car driver. I think I was good, but I was never like one of the best in the world. I do believe that I got into motor car racing earlier I believe I would have made it in NASCAR in America, I have no doubt. That type of car is my kind of car.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're just very different because in a power boat, there's no gear, there's no clutch, there's no brake, it's a different mindset, and they work opposite. So in a car, you want downforce. In a boat, you don't, but you want to balance the aerodynamics with the hydrodynamics. So it's the airflow over the top of the boat and the airflow combined with the water underneath the boat, and you've got to balance it on that all the time. That's why you're permanently moving the hydraulics to change the angle of the engine, move the engine up and down and all that kind of
So that can't be easy, and it's hella dangerous as well.
Look, there's no question Formula One boats is more dangerous than cars. There's no doubt about that.
So any closing words from you about the future of South African motorsport and how things are going with you and Shelby?
Okay, so South African motorsport, you know, everybody says, the good old days, and it doesn't matter what generation you are, it's always the good old days.
We are living in the heyday as far as I'm concerned.
And sport moves on.
Yes.
And if you talk to me and you say, do I prefer the current Formula One or Formula One of 30 years ago? I prefer Formula One of 30 years ago, but I'm an older person. Formula One today is different. It's more scientific. It's way more developed. It's completely different. If you took a top Formula One driver from today and you put them in a 30-year-old Formula One car, they would find it difficult to get the best out of it. But it's the same the other way around.
It's difficult to compare eras.
You can't. You've got to compare drivers of the same era.
Yeah, agree.
That's what you've got to do.
Mike Pashut, my co-presenter, would say that PK was the best. That's his favorite driver. So this one's for you, Mike. But Mr. Lindenberg, always a pleasure. Thank you for your time. Thanks for the wisdom. I appreciate the
Thanks
insight.
for what you guys do for motorsport. Without guys like you, it goes nowhere.
Nah, we love the sport.
Someone has to tell the story.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
We can make the story. You've got to tell it.
Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. Cheers for now. Thank you, sir. The organizer of this event, Peter Lindenberg, is known for powerboat racing. To find out more, I'll be going to the Powerboat Festival later this year. But for now, let's just look at this incredible machine. I didn't know it was this big. Wow. In front of me is a left-hand drive manual ZR1. And it's one of the first of the modern Corvettes. To find out more about the Corvettes that came after the Stingray, let's hand it over to the voice in the sky.
After the iconic Stingray era, several generations of Corvettes followed, each with advancements in performance, design, and technology. The C4 of 1984 introduced a modern aerodynamic look, and the high-performance ZR1 with its Lotus-designed LT5 V8. The C5 brought a new chassis, the legendary LS1 V8, and the hardcore Z06 variant. The C6 from 2005 refined the formula with exposed headlights, an upgraded interior, and the return of the ZR1, packing 475 kilowatts. The C7 then reintroduced the Stingray name, featuring an aggressive redesign, advanced tech, and the most powerful ZR1 yet, boasting 560 kilowatts. The groundbreaking current C8 transitioned to a mid-engine layout, pushing Corvette into the supercar realm with models like the high-revving Z06, the hybrid E-Ray, and upcoming performance variants. Coming up after the break, we visit Zwartkops Raceway for passion for speed.
Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad.
Are you looking to sell? Visit Change Cars and click on the Selling tab. With Michael Pashut growing the brand in other ways, our camera crew got tasked to shoot passion for speed without their fearless leader. There were, of course, quite a few familiar faces to chat to. We first chat to Mike O'Sullivan, and someone proudly flying the All Things Motoring flag.
This is the 24th running of the Passion for Speed. It's held every year in January. Peter du Toit, the owner of Zwartkops, is so passionate about historic racing. Worldwide historic racing is so on the go. Everybody wants to be in it, everybody wants to watch it. If you look at the crowds, you see it's quite amazing. We're very proud that Peter has included us, the classic touring car category, in the pre-66 Le Mans TT, which is 45 minutes. Our series really needs promotion. It's a new series. Basically what it is, they want to reincarnate the touring car era of the 90s, from 90 to 95, 96, all four-cylinder front-wheel drive cars with 4 doors and a boot, running on the same tires in one class. The theory is amazing. We're just waiting for the grids to grow. I'm very fortunate to have All Things Motoring International involved and pushing us, and hopefully with their impetus we can get this whole thing going. A very interesting fact, this was my original car that I raced in the Stanek Group N series in 1995, and one day a guy in Pretoria phoned and said, I think I have your ex-racing car in my scrapyard. He sent me a pic and lo and behold, it was my car. I rushed out there and I bought it immediately, but it wasn't in the condition it's in now. Obviously, it's 30 years later. And I totally rebuilt the car, and here it is today. It's one of a kind. It's an original factory Honda.
South Africa has a rich history in historic racing, and someone who is helping keep that flame alive is another friend of the brand, Rodney Green.
Some of the cars here are absolutely amazing. And you know, amongst the Historic Single-Seater Association, there were, I think, 30 entries. The quickest was about 30 seconds faster than the slowest, but it doesn't matter, it was wonderful. You know, everyone talks about the red mist. You get down to the start line and all your misgivings disappear in a red mist, and you do your damnedest. So even if you're at the back of the field or the front, you're going to give it your all. It's the way of motor racing. So we go, balls out. This is an MG TC single-seater. It's quite famous. It's called Spider. It's been racing since 1946, almost continually until today, and it will continue in the future. The guy that built it was a famous South African in Durban, Les Miller. I've had it about 8-9 years, hill climbed, circuit raced. It's a fabulous old car. You know, it's got an XPAG MG engine, which it left the factory with, but it's bored out a bit, compression ratio, 12.5 to 1, you know, all that sort of good stuff. Nice fancy camshaft. So, you know, it pumps out over 100 brake horsepower, which is okay, you know. So, it's a pleasure to drive.
We also managed to get some words with our good personal friend, Bernie de Gouveia, who was about to exercise his passion for speed.
Yeah, so the BMW M Performance Parts Race Series is back at the Passion for Speed 2025, and it's been an awesome entry field. We had about 67 odd cars that originally entered. Some had a bit of issues, so they withdrew, and 1 or 2 people were a bit sick, and some cars just weren't ready. We've also had about 9 new drivers to the series. We've added a class for this year, so yeah, it's our first race for 2025. We're back in a month's time. D, E and F, the category I'm in, there's about 39 cars originally entered. I managed to put it on pole this morning, or yesterday afternoon rather, and we raced this morning. I managed to win the race, so I'm quite happy. Now I'm starting in 5th, inverted grid, top 5. So let's see how this race goes.
Did you know? The TransAm series is an iconic American road racing series, but its influence in South Africa has been relatively limited in comparison to its home country. However, the cars and the spirit of the TransAm series found their way to South African racing fans through local motorsport events, particularly during the 70s and 80s. In the 70s, American muscle cars, including those from the TransAm series, were popular in South Africa. The influence of the TransAm races could be seen in the cars and racing style that captivated local enthusiasts. While South Africa didn't have a dedicated TransAm series of its own, the appeal of American muscle cars and their presence in international racing circuits helped shape the local motorsport, including road racing events and endurance racing. The cars, sound and speed of the TransAm were admired by South African motorsport fans, and in a way, the legacy of the series lives on in the local car culture. Coming up after the break, Ernest is back at the West Coast Car Show. Looking for finance and insurance? Visit Change Cars and click on the Financial Products tab.
It's not often that you see a genuine Dakar car in the flesh, and this is one from the 90s. It raced in the Paris-Le Cup, where it ended its journey in Cape Town. It was raced locally by Neil Woolridge and his team, and here we see what it is today. A heritage piece from when Mitsubishi dominated in motorsport. I'm standing here with Justin Swartz. And Justin, from Stellenbosch, our side of the world, that side of the world, not this side of the world, surprisingly. I'm standing here with your 635i, the car that grabbed our attention. But now let's take a walk over here. What are we looking at here? Because these two cars parked next to each other are very different. And one of the things that I've realized as one gets older is that you start getting an appreciation for older cars, classic cars specifically. This is a C10 over here, but it's very special. You've got a square 22-inch setup over here. You've got the Chevy engine in there.
What did we call it back in those days? Modified? When we just dropped it and stuff? It was actually a Toyota Hilux bakkie.
Yeah.
So I used to run with the crew, obviously, your Lotus River, Grassy Park, Surrey Estate
funky
guys.
decisions, guys.
So I started with the Hilux.
I'm from Grassy Park, and we love bakkies. We love bakkies.
That's the bakkie country, yes. Or the lowered bakkie country.
Yes, exactly.
So obviously the dream was always to get something, big wheels on the ground, running 22 inches right around, LS motor in, full custom. This was a 4-5 year project as it is standing here.
And just to get those front wheels in the arches was already a mammoth task.
The builder, my builder, Etienne from E-Rods, he was on my case and I told him, let's push it for 22. So we actually got the challenge out, find another bakkie with 22s right around a laying frame.
Yeah.
As you can see.
But here we found one.
Yeah.
Justin, thanks for chatting to us. And it's so nice to see someone that's into this type of car and this type of car combined. We don't have to choose, eh?
For me, the most beautiful part of a car is seeing it driving. That's it, on the road.
And you guys drove these from Stellenbosch?
We drove it from Stellenbosch. That's how we build our cars to be driven.
Nice.
Yeah.
Justin, thanks for your time, brother, and good luck for the rest of the projects.
Ernest. Thank you.
Charles, I don't know about you, but this to me is the coolest era of muscle car because of Smokey and the Bandit, one of my favorite movies. Burt Reynolds did his own stunts, inspired me to want to be a stuntman growing up. But you own one of these cars. Is it as cool as I think it is?
Yeah, no, it is pretty cool. Enjoy it much.
What do you like about it?
I just like muscle cars, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is just one of them that I managed to purchase and do it up and personalize it to myself, yeah.
You mentioned that this car is actually nice to drive. What's the driving experience like, and what model is this one?
This is the 1974 TransAm. They call it the last of the muscle cars, I suppose, because of that pollution thing and all.
Fuel crisis.
There we go.
Yeah. And after this, everything became four-cylinder or sort of like the Fox bodies, etc., where they weren't real muscle cars, isn't it?
No, I think it was more of the ozone type thing, you know, damaging of the ozone. So, yeah, they had to change it. And there's quite a bit of a write-up about the 1974, yeah.
So this car over here, how often do you drive it? Do you drive it on weekends only, shows only?
As much as I can, really.
Charles, I've got to get going. I hear there's an event that I can't miss happening in Cape Town in a couple of months' time, and I got to speak to that organizer, so if you wouldn't mind just holding this mic.
Okay, cool.
And we're back. Charles, how's it going? Fancy seeing you here. So you're the one to speak to about the car show that's happening in Cape Town.
Yeah, we got the 2025 Nationals happening on our Easter weekend. That's where all the hot rods come from all over the country and enter a competition and see who's the best and who built the best cars and that type of thing, yeah.
Cool, we'll definitely go check it out. But this is your hot rod over here, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct, yes. Yeah, that's my one.
And what is that? A T-bucket looks like it.
T-bucket, yeah.
Could you tell us a bit more about what a T-bucket is and what engine you have in here?
That was one of the first cars what old Henry Ford built, and we just modified it. And there was an era in the States where they used to take the T-buckets and put in V8s and race and drag each other. And this is one of them that they used to do. And we obviously carried on with the tradition here in South Africa as well, yeah.
So this is the Cape Town Street Rod Club Nationals happening. And if we go there, we can see a whole bunch of these.
100%, yeah. This is just a few of our actual hot rods that we got from the club. And, yeah.
Folks, so there you have it, 19th of April over the Easter weekend to see cars like these and many others. As a big fan of American trucks and American trucking, this has got to be the perfect combination of a truck and a bakkie combined. Small enough to be a bakkie to drive around Cape Town on these 22s, and big enough to look like you're driving a cool American truck that can carry 20 tons at the back. My kind of car. And so my time at the car show comes to an end. But we're not done in Langebaan yet. Robbie over here is going to take me to the Langebaan guest house where I can rent one of these and spend the rest of my time in Langebaan enjoying what Langebaan has to offer. Cheers for now.
Here is the screen top tip of the week. WD-40 Magic. Use WD-40 on squeaky door hinges and loosen rusty bolts. Works like a charm. Before you buy a second-hand car, screen it. It's what smart people do. Coming up next week on All Things Motoring, we visit Zwartkops Raceway for Passion for Speed Part 2. And Ernest attends the International Hot Rod Tour. This is a show that will get the adrenaline pumping.
So I'm surprised and, wait, start again. Yeah! One more time. Your favorite race car from back in the day. Pick one, only one.
You're being difficult.
Yeah. I'm being like you now.
So, I'm not difficult.
It was raced locally by Neil Woolridge and his team, and now it belongs to a...
This is what people think. I had to have that difficult.
You were difficult with me when I got here, but I like it. We were...
The Ferrari F40 had no door handles, no radio, and no carpets. The interior was held together with what looked like green bathroom sealant, and the paint was so thin you could see the weave of the carbon fibre through it.
Do you need any motoring advice? From where or what to buy? And where to sell? Visit the All Things Motoring International website and click the Advice tab to ask Mikey. All Things Motoring International was brought to you by SA's most trusted online vehicle platform, ChangeCARS. Our name says it all. There is no safer online vehicle platform. That's not an opinion, that's a fact.